Can you just imagine if they clinch a spot Sunday? Can you imagine?
I'll be there. I'll be there no matter what, man. We're not dead yet. I'm still here.
And 80% of the listeners turn it off with the "We're not dead yet, it's still alive." Well, once we start with that talk, it's over.
0.3%.
It's not 0.0. That's for sure.
Right. That's right. Can't count us out yet. We're still in it, man.
Hey, as I was setting this up, the Royals had not won yet, and that is because the Royals were warming up. So they neither won nor lost, nor even threw a pitch.
0-0 in our nation's capital.
Yeah, I mean, if the Nationals can just get a result there, and we can take the 3 points against Toronto tonight, we vault right back up the table. Might be able to secure a Champions League spot. Who knows?
We win tonight. Royals lose 2.5 back.
Yeah, it's not the Tigers we're looking at now. It's back to the Royals.
Yeah, now the Tigers.
We have the tiebreaker with them. This.
Yeah. Oh no, give me the Royals, man. They've lost 7 straight. Yeah, they're going out sad. You never know. As a wise man once said, you never know. We got 5 to play.
Man, it's just...
Where's your head at, Fitz? What are you feeling? Are you delusional like me? Because I'm currently in the throes of what do they call it? Like the death rattle. I'm delusional. I have some energy.
The death rattle. What is?
Yeah, just as when someone's like right at the end, they get like a little spark of energy and some joy, and they seem lucid.
One last rage against the light. Against
that's
the
right.
Of the light.
Exactly. That's where I'm at. I'm delusional. I'm riding it out, and I'm gonna have fun with it because, it is most likely over.
Yeah, I think the 0.3%.
I'll add the disclaimer. I'll add the disclaimer. It's most likely over.
I think the 0.3% suggested that, but continue.
Yeah. But we're gonna see this out. We're gonna ride it to the end, and whatever happens. We've all had fun. Win, lose, or draw, as the great Russell Westbrook said. Have fun. Just have fun.
I just hope both teams have fun. We being, of course, Candles $3,600, aka Liam. I am Doug Fister, aka Fitz. No Jake this week. Thinking of Jake. Shout out to Jake. But this is Spot on Lansdowne. Happy to have you here during the final episode of the regular season, one way or the other. Whether or not that 0.3% playoff berth comes to pass for the Boston Red Stockings doesn't matter, that because this is the last time we'll be talking to you while the regular season is going on. This right now being around 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday evening. Red Sox playing the Toronto Blue Jays as we record this third inning. No score as we record right now. After a win on Monday and a series win against Minnesota over the weekend. Even though it wasn't the sweep that our own Matt Gross said that we had to lock in. Yeah, it is what it is. You asked Liam how I'm feeling. Here's the thing. I'm a man of many emotions, Liam. I go back and forth. I am prone to change in an instant, if need be. Just a couple of weeks ago, we declared this as the month of Tayo Cruz, Dynamite. I throw my hands up in the air at times. Yep. Ayo, gotta let go. Hey, I don't care. Let's just see what happens. Now I'm sitting here knowing that, yeah, it's probably over. We knew that since, like, right before Labor Day, that it was like, okay, this is probably, like, this is real nasty work. Maybe a little later. Don't hold me to the exact date, but it's been a couple of weeks now that we've been able to see the writing on the wall. And I'm kind of rephrasing a refrain I had a couple of weeks ago, where the fact that this is just so strung out, they're pushing this to the final weekend or the last couple of maybe the final 24 hours, who knows, right? I can't look into the future, but however long they string this out, it just makes it that much more annoying that the Twins couldn't just fucking close us out, right? They had the chance this weekend, they failed. B, that more importantly to the Red Sox is that you have all these fumbled games in the second half. If it gets up to the point where it's like, oh, they missed out on the third spot by 2 games, 3 games, even 4. Even 4, you can look back and say, well, there's a real handful of games that very easily could have and probably should have gone the other way. I understand it's baseball. I understand that's just how the game works. It's how it's worked for, however many years at this point. But man, it's almost more insulting to us watching this, right? That even after all the banana peels have been slipped on, even after doing the sideshow Bob stepping on the rake thing and whacks you in the head, they did that about 40 times since the All-Star break. The fact that it's coming down to the last week, no matter how outside of a shot it is, the fact that you're still playing meaningful games the final week of September, when you know that the bullet is coming right in between your eyes, it's insulting, it's demeaning, but I'm still in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, what if it is that point? What if we are living in that time? Which makes it all that more cruel, Liam.
I feel like Coach Joe. Like you said, we can see the red dot. I'm happy. I'm looking at the red dot. I want it. I want it.
The target.
Regardless of what happens, we're going down, guns blazing. As sad as this roller coaster has been in the second half, and as demoralizing as it has been, if I could speak, I don't know. It's like Cora said 2 weeks ago. He's like, I don't know how we're still here, but we are. I pulled up our good friend Steve Peralt tweeted earlier today, remaining record for the Red Sox to make the playoffs. Red Sox, obviously you got to win out. We got to go 5-0. Royals 2-4. They've lost 7 straight, pending tonight's outcome in our nation's capital. Twins.
Yeah, talk about a get-right spot against the Nationals.
Yeah, got to go. Those plucky gnats, watch out.
Yeah, true.
It
depends on whether or not C.J. Abrams has been hitting the table beforehand.
That's right. As long as he's not out until 8 a.m., they're good. Twins got to go 2-4. Very, very realistic. We should have swept them, but they're also 3-7 in their last 10. And then the Mariners 3-2, which, I mean, as far as we're concerned, we hold the tiebreaker over the Royals, the Mariners, and do we have the tiebreaker over the Twins now after that split? Or let me double check.
No.
Let me double check.
What did they do earlier in the season when they were in Minnesota? Did they lose 2-3? I don't think it was one way or the other. It was like May.
So we finished 3-3 with them. Runs scored 31-18.
Like that. I don't know.
I don't know if they just go to run differential after that, but I don't know. So we split the season series with the Twins. We absolutely outscored them thanks to those last 2 games over the weekend. So I don't know how that shakes out. I probably should know that, but hey, what are you going to do?
We don't have
it's very unlikely anyway. But we're still here. We're still kicking. It would be hilarious to me if somehow they did win out. And well, I think the funniest outcome would be they win out,
but still miss.
Still don't make it on the final day. And you could look at it and you could be like, this is what you get because you've had so many chances to take advantage of these mediocre mid teams in front of you. Not to say we're excluded from that bunch because we're absolutely the purest of mid, but it just goes to show you, like we play 162 games, but the margins are still fine, especially with the third wild card now. So, I mean, Cora was talking about it on one of the pregame shows, maybe it might have been Thursday or Friday, or I guess it was probably Friday before the Twin series. And he was talking about the third wild card, and he's like, hey, I mean, look at Detroit. Their playoff odds were like less than 1% as recently as August 30th, and here they are. So
they're shoo-in now.
I guess in a sense, technically, we are still in this wild card race. But I'll tell you right now, it certainly does not feel like a wild card race. It does not feel like a pennant chase to me. It is the saddest vibe possible for a team that still mathematically has a chance to get in at one game over 500 as we record this. So I don't know. I mean, to me, I guess there are obviously you've won more games already this year than you did the past 2 years. So
yes, yeah, pop the bottles for that.
So,
no 78
so
84 here, baby.
Get the duck boats ready for that one.
Can you believe it?
I mean, at the very least, obviously, we'll do the postmortem next week. Or not.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't.
Where would we be? Where would that shake out? Would we go to? Oh, we'd go to Houston.
We go to Houston.
Hell yeah. Okay. All right. I'll see you in Houston next week, guys.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, we could do a postmortem next week or the following. Or 5 weeks from now, 6 weeks from now,
or the postmortem might be we're the only team left alive because we won the championship. You know, we won the World Series.
Rattled off 20 straight wins.
Yeah, Moneyball A's style to go all the way.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's still a lot of positives to take away from the season, I think is the point I was trying to get at. Obviously, you've made some progress, and there's certainly more young help on the way next year. So I think if anyone is like going into this final week, kind of like poo-pooing the team, not to say you're casual, but I will say you haven't been paying attention. Yes, this team could have been better, but let's be honest. If we rewind 5 months, 6 months, out of the last 3 years, I thought this team was going to be far and away the worst. I didn't trust the rotation going in. Didn't know how the offense was going to shake out. Was Costas' first full season real? Was Duran's breakout season last year real? I think a lot obviously had to break right for this team to, I don't know, really be a serious contender. But you got to be honest, they were very close to having things break right, for better or worse. And I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess obviously the second half has been a roller coaster. But what I'm trying to say is the season overall, I don't know. I had fun. With you guys. So.
No, it's a blast. And
whatever happens.
We'll still be here during the off season. I think do we do every other week? I think we do every other week in the off season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is good.
So we'll
still be in your ear holes.
Yeah, every now and again we'll be there, right? While you're paying attention.
Pause. Take that one out.
No, that stays. That one said no Steven Tyler there. No out for that one. But yeah, again, it's I don't blame people necessarily for feeling demoralized, checking out at this point, even if they are mathematically in it. I think it's just the conditioning of it, and that starts from the top of it just seems kind of wherever the wind takes you. Oh, you end up at 78 wins, 80 wins, or something like that. I don't blame people for this point, running out of gas. Even if the team, to their credit, is still putting it together, just what they've been conditioned to feel. I mean,
it has been fucking
seasons now.
As sickos that watch every night, man. I mean, this has been fucking exhausting. I won't sugarcoat it.
Right? Yeah.
But I don't know. Pressure makes diamonds. Maybe they'll win out, and we'll see you in Houston next week.
And it is something to be said, kind of like I just alluded to, the fact that, the younger guys, it's not playoff experience, of course. Nothing compares to that. But to at least be clawing and scratching to stay in the race compared to last year when the entire roster just seemed completely deflated, completely out of it, completely checked out. And it was, I think, quite literally perhaps the worst month in Red Sox history, just based on a record, like in however many years, or maybe just in general. I don't know. It was really fucking bad. They won, I think, 2 games like in September. That's what it felt like. They were just completely checked out, right? So for them to be here and to be,
I got it for you, Fitz. They went 8-19 in September last year.
That's a joke. That's
their worst. It was their worst. Well, Jesus, I always forget how awful 2011, 2012 were. They went 7-20 in 2011 and 7-19 in 2012. So September's never kind to us.
Yeah, there you have it, right? The worst since that pitiful stretch. But where was I? I lost my train of thought. Thanks, asshole. No. The fact that they're at least going out there and still, even in small odds, still piecing together some wins, giving you something to,
hey, first 3 games
into the end of the year.
as we record this, we're on our first 3-game win streak since the beginning of August. So
Jesus Christ,
boys are putting some wins together. That's a streak.
Again, it just goes to show that, like, oh, it's great that they're stringing it together now. Where the fuck was this in mid-August? Where the fuck was this at the start of September when they really, truly, desperately needed it? Where if they go on to win this series or sweep this series against Toronto, I don't know what happens in game 2 or 3 as I record this. But yeah, that's great if they're able to do that north of the border. Where was that during the 5-game or 4.75 game series at Fenway a couple of weeks ago? Right? Where was that? Just, man, it's... Again, there are positives to take away from the year, and the further we move away from the final game of the season, the playoffs, the World Series, once we get further into the off season, we're really missing the Red Sox, we're really missing watching baseball. Those positives will come to light, 100%, and they'll be mentioned on this show, and they'll be given, players like again, like, not that we haven't been giving Jarren Duran his flowers this season, but the positives of that and what that means going forward into 25 and beyond, that's all going to be covered, 100%. Guys like, for an example, just to pull one out, like a Justin Slayton potentially being a part of this bullpen going forward, especially if Kenley's going to be away, and we'll talk about that in a second. But him maybe potentially stepping forward in 2025 and moving forward into a bigger bullpen role, yeah, that's potentially a positive that you could take away from 2024. All that's going to come to light. All that will be discussed, and we'll all be feeling those good, happy feelings in the middle of December when we're freezing our asses off and looking forward to spring training. Short term, it is tough to sit here and be like, well, you know what? Like, it was a good season based off of the expectations, and, we could take some positives from that. I do believe that, but that's kind of in the back of my mind, where right now in the short term, it's the frustration that, like, yeah, there were some good takeaways from this, but there were so many self-inflicted gun wounds that had avoided. Even if you cut those self-inflicted gun wounds in half, we're talking about an even better season. You're talking about that actual postseason experience for a guy like Duran or Casas or, Bayo, extra postseason experience for Houck if he's going to be involved moving forward. Guys like that, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's just frustrating. And it's agonizing because they're still alive, It's not that I want the Red Sox to lose. Of course not, right? I don't want that.
No, but I feel like that's...
wants that.
That's the prevailing sentiment, though. I think people are they're tired, they're checked out. Like, okay, we've been doing this song and dance for 3 months now.
Shit or get off the pot, man. Like,
yeah, no. At the end of the day, I totally get that. I go back and forth between, hey, delusional. Maybe we're still actually have a chance to, like, fuck these guys. Why do I want to watch tonight? The offense is streaky. I can't trust the bullpen. Now Kenley's out. Now Devers is out. Like, I mean, I get it if people aren't, tuning in or watching. Like, I tweeted it Monday night. I was like, it feels like the Japanese soldier who fought for 30 years after World War II ended.
1972, and he's still...
Yeah, and I'm still watching and live tweeting every inning.
Fighting for the empire, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I totally get that sentiment. I think, like, let's talk in 4 weeks, 5 weeks when the World Series is over, and we'll kind of regroup. But I don't know. Let's just have some fun in this last week. There's still one more weekend at Fenway. That should be fun. That Fenway experience, man, never fails. So,
as the ownership group said earlier this year. Let's go to break. When we return, I do want to touch upon the subtractions of Rafael Devers and Kenley Jansen for the year. I do want to touch upon that. And then, some more 2025 talk, because we're going to be transitioning to that. Anyways, that's all I had on Pollen Lansdowne, but we'll be back. I want to see if you were going to say after this.
After this, folks. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for you. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
After this. Okay. double for Vladdy. 2 outs, bottom 3.
Oh,
Oh, it's 2-0 Toronto. Sick.
Man, love that.
We're back. Pot on Lansdowne. No Jake this week. Shout out Jake. Liam and Fitz here, though, at Yasoyvis. And it's 2-0 Toronto. I don't know when they scored those 2 runs. I wasn't watching.
Just
I was
now.
talking.
Yeah, just now.
Well, there you go. Right. Liam, I don't know if we're going to be able to run the table now.
Hey, man, it's the third
We
inning.
might
Don't
be
give up
living in
yet.
that. We might
don't
be
give up
living
yet.
in that 99.7% probable timeline right now. Believe it or not.
There's a universe out there where these Red Sox do make the playoffs.
Whatever timeline we're in, and I sound like a fucking MCU Redditor right now, being like, "Well, this timeline is." But wherever you are, wherever you're listening to this, we're glad to have you here.
Wherever,
on
whenever.
Whenever, I'll be here in your song of the week. Yeah, Whenever, Wherever by Shakira.
That's a good song.
Put Chrissy to work right away on that. That's my song of the week because I didn't have one prepared anyways. So you know what? There you go. Makes my job easier. If you want to take part in the show by leaving a voicemail for us, you are most certainly welcome to. Our voicemail line is 617-420-2431. Leave a question, leave a comment, roast one of us, preferably not me, and preferably not Jake because he's not here right now, so it only leaves one person. And again, 617.
I can take it.
Yeah, you thick skin. Thick skin. 617-420-2431. As I mentioned a few moments ago to you, Liam, Rafael Devers being shut down for the year. Kenley Jansen potentially has pitched his last pitch in a Red Sox uniform. He's done for the year with their respective injuries. I think there are tidbits to talk about with both of them. Let's start with Devers. Good year from him at the plate, as we all expected, and at times he looked like one of the premier hitters in all of baseball. The thing I fear is that something like this, where he requires to be shut down, I don't know how unjust of a fear this is. I just don't want this to become a trend. Because I feel like there are times here and there with Devers where it pops up like, ooh, the shoulder's nagging him. This is bothering, that's bothering. Oh, he's clearly ailing at the plate because of the injury. And to his credit, like I understand, I give respect to him for wanting to try to play through an injury. But at some point, it gives me a little pause. This isn't a full panic. This isn't even a half panic. It's just something in the back of my mind that I'm very much aware of. It's like the idea of like, one day you're gonna die. Yeah, it's in the back of my head. I don't think about it consistently. You know what I mean? It might happen today. It might happen tomorrow, right? I don't know why I said that as an example. That's clearly this is not.
It's true,
this is not a life and death situation for Rafael Devers. That was a really bad example. I wish I could rewind that, but we got to roll with it.
Ow!
Ow! No, but the point is, it doesn't totally concern me, but it's just in the back of my head. I'm like, this is a couple times now where, this guy that is the franchise cornerstone player, offensive driving force, that, something like this has popped up. I don't, it's just a little thing in the back of my head.
I hate to be the guy that says, I told you so. Well, I briefly previewed this at the end of last week's episode. It does seem like there has been some sort of nagging injury for Rafael Devers. You could argue the last 4 years.
Yeah, it's a couple times now.
And I don't understand, because we talked about it. It's at the very beginning of the season, the shoulder was bothering him. And then obviously where did he aggravate it again? It was Colorado. He aggravated it out of the All-Star break. Like the shoulder's been bothering him all year. I don't know why it took this long for him to go on the IL. I really don't. You could have done it in April.
Doesn't need the surgery according to the
right.
MRI.
According to the MRI. Yeah. But I mean, if you look at it, I'm looking at second half of the season for Rafael Devers. 54 games. The slash is 244, 325, 402 for an OPS of 730. Which, hey, that's not terrible. but
But
that's
it's
not what
when
you want from your franchise cornerstone.
Yeah.
You had 5
To
home
his,
runs,
to his
22
credit, his
RBIs,
OPS plus still ends up at 136, right?
which
That
is
just goes to
what
show how good he
it's
was to start the year.
second in his career, like second career high, I guess.
In general,
The
in
OPS
total, that was
plus,
his
yeah.
second career high. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really seemed after he shook off the shoulder in like the middle of April, that we were cooking with gas. It looked like it was going to be a career year in terms of everything for him. But let me see here. Yeah, if we go to, all right, so the first, I'm going stat guy mode here. All right, March 28th through April 17th, 13 games. This was when Devers came out of spring training with the nagging shoulder. He hit 188, 328, 375 for an OPS of 700. Then he had a 3-hit game in Cleveland. And let me just go to the Colorado series because that's where he aggravated it.
Riveting radio.
Be ref. Okay, we got it. And then from April 24th through July 22nd, 75 games, 21 home runs, 57 RBIs, 35 walks. He hit 296, 369, 599 for an OPS of essentially 970. That's the Rafael Devers I know and love. But post Colorado, I fucked it up.
Again, this is why you tune into
This
Bottom
is
Lansdowne.
this is the Bottom Lansdowne difference in action. In action.
What does a man have to do to get a producer behind the scenes here, pulling up the
Colorado,
ones and twos?
Post Colorado, we got 48 games, July 26th through September 20th, 5 home runs, 20 RBIs, 22 walks to 54 strikeouts. The slash was 242, 324, 398, 722 OPS. So basically a tale of 3 seasons, essentially for Mr. Rafael Devers. He comes out of spring training with the shoulder bothering him. He lights it up mid-April through the All-Star break, re-injures the shoulder in Colorado, and that was kind of it. That's all she wrote.
So I don't know what the solution here is. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
is it more days off his feet? Like, is it utilizing more of the bench to get him, some extra rest, or just days at DH more often? I think the idea that was floated by Ken Rosenthal the other day, like, I think we mentioned this on last week's episode, but just to reiterate it, the whole, move Devers to first, sign Bregman,
trade
Casas.
No,
that's
I'm out.
lunacy. Yeah, that's Looney Tunes.
Any conversation that starts with trading Casas, I'm out.
It's a non-starter.
It's just nonsense. That's nonsense. That's unserious behavior.
Are you sending Shohei Ohtani back or something like that? Then yes, maybe we could talk 100%. And there are other guys that would fit that bill.
No, like our corners should be set for the next 7 to 8 years. I do think he does need more days off his feet. I will say that. I mentioned that last week when we briefly touched on the Bregman stuff. And not that Bregman's obviously like the perfect, all right, here's a guy that can play a little middle infield. You can play him at third to spell Devers. If you really wanted to move Devers to like 80 games at DH, to anyone that thinks by next year he's going to be a full-time DH, like that's just lunacy. It's not happening. He's playing third base for a majority of the time. I mean, this is his age 27 season. At the very least, I think you got 6 more years of Devers at third.
Call it like 33 or so, maybe.
Yeah. So like moving him to full-time DH makes no sense because obviously he does make some amazing plays, and then he also bungles some routine plays, which we know. Like that's the Devers third base experience. That's what you're going to get. If you could get him off his feet for 30, 40 games in DH in there, I think that's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, there could absolutely be a schedule or like a routine put in place, but then it comes down to, okay, so who's playing third base in that spot? You really had nobody able to back him up at the.
It's got to be someone defensively sound. You know what I mean? You get him in free agency, or you trade a couple of mid-level prospects for a guy who, might not be that great of a hitter, but he's going to shore up the left side of the defense with whoever's playing shortstop as his tandem. I don't have a guy off the top of my head who would be.
Ha-Seong Kim, welcome to Boston.
That's
He's
pretty
also
good.
injured. He's also injured right now. But hey,
Yeah.
plays short, second, and third. And he's a right-handed hitter. So
Yeah, need the right hand. Yeah, and he has his moments with the lumber.
yeah, 100%.
But yeah,
I noticed
doesn't even
that
have to
early
be
today.
him of his caliber. You know what I mean? Just someone that you can plug in. You know,
I need a real
utility
major
sort of
league
guy.
glove at third base.
Right. Yeah. In the days that Devers isn't going to be there, where then he bolsters. You know, because there's a question about what to do with designated hitter. That answers that question at least with the stick on offense. And just a side note on the Bregman thing, fine player, and I may have mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. It's just allocating free agent money towards him takes away from guys that you should be in terms of the pitching market. I think that in terms of free agency,
starter, an
things to address
ace
there.
first and foremost.
I think that is the top of the
essentially
list.
An ace, an elite bullpen arm, and then we can figure out the rest.
I think it's right-handed bat in there somewhere. I think.
I think that's an easy three.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously,
and then, it might be a matter of you trade for another arm as well, potentially. Again, these are all things that we'll talk about as the offseason goes on. I'm not here to do the whole Red Sox Mariners trade talk thing. You've heard that too many times on Twitter over the last handful of months. You're going to hear it during the winter. I'm sure we'll bring it up. We're not going to do it right here, right now. We don't have to. The point is that just Lou Merloni brought up this on Monday's broadcast on EEI. He brought it up with Duran. It's great that Duran wants to be a 162 guy. Maybe watch the language to confirm that next year, Jaron. But Jaron did say, in all seriousness, he was like, I'm starting to feel a little sore, and I'm going to be playing 160. Even getting him down to like a 150 to ensure, this is what Merloni said, to ensure that he's good the entire stretch. Not that, Duran had a solid night Monday. He was stretching singles and doubles.
He looked like
another
first
triple.
Duran.
Exactly, right? He looked like that. But to ensure that from game 1 to game 181, or however many further into the playoffs, because that's the hope, right? That he's productive and effective from A to Z there. Same idea with Devers, right? There is the saying that the best ability is availability.
I
The
believe
team is
that.
still technically alive as we record this. And again, odds are low, but you're doing that without your star third baseman in the lineup. So, again, I am not totally worried about Rafael Devers. There's just a little sliver of me that's like, this can't keep happening if they have serious prospects in the future. They can't keep missing Devers for important stretches in September and have these lingering things. I don't know what the answer to it is specifically. I know it's just not this. I don't want to keep doing this song and dance when he's the franchise player. And I'm sure, it's not his fault. He's not going out there and, putting a fucking jackhammer to his shoulder, right? But if it's a matter of mitigating, managing it more proactively, I don't know what it specifically looks like, but I would like to see it. If I knew what it was, they would have paid me the big bucks to figure it out, but they don't, so I don't know what to tell you. And then
that's to your call. I just pulled it up out of curiosity, but Duran in September, 21 games, 21 hits, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 0 home runs, 6 RBIs, 5 walks, 2 stolen bases. The slash is 239, 287, 307, OPS below 600. So yes, he's clearly on fumes. So
and slumps happen, right? And Loomer also said, like, every single grounder to second or whatever, any fly ball, he runs it out completely. That's great hustle, of course, right? You appreciate that, watching that. But if it's a matter of, hey, giving him a couple more off days here and there to ensure that for the next September stretch that they're pushing for the playoffs and pushing for the division, hopefully, fingers crossed, in the near future, we can certainly hope that, right? That if he's going to be sticking around, that he's, at all the way effective for that. And then that transitions into Kenley Jansen, who's been shut down for the year as well. Probably not going to be seeing him in a Red Sox hat anytime soon. Um, Jake has been freed. He doesn't have to watch Kenley Jansen anymore as a Red Sox, probably. Um, I don't know. I feel there's a couple different ways to go with this. The Kenley Jansen experience. You had it for a couple of years. How does it feel stepping off of the ride now?
I mean, I'm ready to bring him back. I don't think
Yeah.
he wants to come back. I think he's tired of. I think he feels like he got the runaround just based off, obviously Heim signing him and then Heim being let go like 8 months later, and his comments last winter and his comments recently about, when I was in LA, it was all about championships. I think he doesn't want to come back, but to his credit, for 2 years, I mean, that's as stable as you're going to get in terms of the ninth inning. 56 saves, essentially 100 innings, 99 in the third. The ERA was 3.4. The ERA plus was 129. The FIP was 3.3. Like, he had his moments, obviously, as all
3-4
closers do.
3-4 is your lockdown closer, isn't setting the world on fire.
No, but for this team,
Sure.
I mean, for a guy that will likely make the Hall of Fame at, in his age 35 and 36 seasons, if that's what you're getting out of him, like,
Sure.
I'll take that all day. Do I think there are a plethora of internal options for the back end of the bullpen next year? No. Obviously, Liam Hendriks is coming back. He hasn't been his all-star self since what, 21, 22?
Which is
you don't
which
know
is-
how he's going to come off the Tommy John plus the
just
cancer.
an eon in baseball years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, at this
So
point?
there's no guarantee Liam Hendriks is old Liam Hendriks. Obviously, there's a lot of rumblings these days about Slayton taking the closer job, which I would love. He's basically just young Chris Martin with some more velo.
I picked him up in Dynasty. It's a lost
That's
year
smart.
for me. You know what I mean?
That's
so I was
smart.
like, you know what? I might be able to get some cheap saves here on a whim.
So I think you got to bring one of Jansen or Martin back next year. Obviously, to Weisert's credit, since he came back from AAA, I don't have the numbers in front of me. He's looked like first half Greg Weisert since he's come back from AAA. That's another option. But yeah, if you were to say to me right now, like, which guys in the bullpen next year would you seriously consider for high leverage innings? It's really just Slayton. I guess in terms of guys under contract, it's just Slayton.
I guess default it has to be Hendricks, is why I understand. He's not the absolute lockdown guy. Maybe he is. Who knows? But we haven't seen him. Right?
I mean, I would love that if
based off
he's
the
old Liam
experience.
Hendricks.
You know what I mean? The bravado to go on in there in lockdown a big game. If I'm not saying he has to be throwing fucking BBs up there, but if he's still got some of the velo, still got some of the movement, he's going to have the mentality to lock it in. I know that's kind of a corny answer, but that's how I feel. Sometimes it's corny.
How old's he going to be next year? Next year will be his age 36 season.
36.
So he will be Kenley's age next year, as in terms of this year was Kenley's age 36 season. But yeah, All-Star in 22, pitched 5 innings in 23. I mean, yeah, if we can just get half of what he was in 22, that's a win.
I also think he's going to be
57 innings, the ERA plus 142.
Yeah, if you're saying if Hendricks could.
Yeah, if you get half of that.
Sure. Kenley's going to want a closing role, I think, wherever he goes.
Because he wants to finish
or get paid
all
to
time
that
in saves.
if he's going to be the second banana to whoever, right? I'm not saying the Mets are going to go out to get him, but say he was the setup guy for Edwin Diaz. He's still going to want to be compensated as a higher leverage guy. I think out of the two, and I'm not just saying this as the Coldplay guy, but Chris Martin's going to cost less. Chris
100%.
Martin understands he's going to be more of a setup guy, probably, right?
7th, 8th inning.
I'd take him. I'd take him, and if that means you can allocate. Again, the Red Sox should, not to give the front office any credit, they shouldn't be operating like this, but I'm just trying to be, was it pragmatist is the word? I'm trying to be practical.
Pragmatic.
Thank you very much. Yes. Long day for me. I couldn't think of the term, but I'm trying to be practical. And given the practicality that we've seen from the last couple of years that from the front office, if it means allocating less resources to the bullpen arm and you take that extra money and throw it towards that right-hand bat that we were talking about, that guy who can plug in a third, whatever it might be, right? Maybe that's more Max Fried money. Maybe any little bit helps. I'd rather go for Martin based off of that.
No, I agree with that because I do truly think Kenley won't consider anyone that's not a contender, a serious contender, and B, he's not going to consider anyone that's not going to give him the closer's role because he's fourth on the all-time saves list. I think he needs like 35 to pass Lee Smith.
And he deserves that shot to go.
He's at 447. Lee Smith's at 478. So I think Kenley's probably like, give me a 2-year deal.
Let me at least get on the podium there. And again, that's well deserved. Not many guys.
I mean, Kimbrel's not going to make it. We saw Kimbrel flame out if year.
Not many guys have a chance to go for that, and I don't blame him at all if that's what he values if he hits the open market,
Kind of nuts. He's at essentially 450 saves and 870 innings. Lee Smith finished at essentially 480 saves in nearly 1,300 innings. Boy's been efficient, That's a Hall of Famer. And he's going to wear a Red Sox cap on his plaque.
Absolutely, yeah.
He loved it here. He loved it here.
Exactly, right? Loves the Sox. Loves the Sox. You mentioned moving forward, and apologies in advance because we're going to be asking this question, probably 5,000 different ways over the next couple of months. This will not be the last time that you hear this sort of question, but I just wanted to kind of gauge where you're at here on this. Again, as Red Sox fans, you shouldn't be settling for mediocrity or even, just happy to be there. Of course, we shouldn't be resigning ourselves to that. The goal should always be winning pennants, winning championships. Not to sound like the big Boston tough sports guy. Oh, we only do duck boat parades here. I'm not trying to be like that, but seriously, that's what, we should be holding it to a higher standard. But to be a pragmatist, again, pragmatic, there you go, to be pragmatic again, there are obviously your hopes that, you want to demand for more, you want to shoot for the stars. But practically speaking, going into 25, what do you think is the realistic goal for the team? Obviously, there are a lot of different things that have yet to be decided. We don't know if we're going to have, Max Fried here in this rotation, if we're going to have Corbin Burns. We know we're not going to have Roki Sasaki. He's a Red. We've already established that.
Guaranteed.
We don't know who's traded. We don't know. There's a lot of things that have yet to be decided, but I think you don't have to be like a top 5 contender next year. I would love that. Of course I would love that. I don't think you need to be like in that top 3 running just yet, considering the youth coming up, considering that, there's still, things are trending in the right direction, but it doesn't feel like you're there yet. That may be more of a 26 thing. I think you need to make the playoffs next year. I think that it absolutely has to happen. I understand that Anthony's still going to be young, and Meyer might need a little bit of time to get his feet wet before really hitting his stride. Same with Teal. Same if we see Campbell, who minor league player of the year, according to Baseball America, by the way. Shout out.
Hell yeah.
Shout out Tristan Campbell. Shout out Campbell.
Tristan Campbell.
Did I say Tristan?
Tristan Campbell.
Christian Casas too is our great first baseman. Yeah, you know what I mean. No, shout out Campbell. But they might need some time to get seasoned and be consistent producers. Even with that, still, I think 4 years of this song and dance of being like, okay, but still not good enough. That would drive me up a wall. If we're sitting here next year having this conversation of like, they have the 0.3% chance of making it, I'm going to lose my top. Right now, I can at least again, part of my brain could at least say, and it will grow as the offseason continues, okay, this season wasn't all bad. It's definitely better than 22 and 23. But I need to see something for that. I need to see something for this time spent dwelling in mediocrity. I think they have to at least earn a spot in the dance next year. What say you on that?
No, I have to agree. I'm looking at it right now. I'll call it like the modern playoff format. The only time they've missed the playoffs 4 years in a row was 91 through 94. And in 94 was essentially, obviously it was strike shortened. So I don't even know if I can really count that.
Everyone missed the playoffs that year.
Yeah, there was no World Series. So I can't really consider that. But if you were to say like, okay, they've never missed the playoffs 4 years in a row in a full season.
Not since I've been alive. Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, because I mean, if you go, obviously, if I'm going like way back now, I don't know when they essentially when did they add the divisional round? Was that after expansion in 95?
And listen, if there are any Chicago White Sox fans listening to this saying like, oh, you haven't seen them miss the playoffs 4 straight years, or if there are
quite fans, honestly, fans in Chicago should be rioting, because the fact that a market like that is putting out such a shit product year after year,
even if they're the second class team,
look yeah, it's like an awful look for the league. I don't know why they keep putting up with it. So apologies to them and our beloved A's fans. Last series at the Coliseum this week. So
yeah, it's shameful. We that's complete bullshit.
But
for sure.
But regardless, it basically in the modern age of playoff baseball, the Red Sox have never missed 4 years in a row. Is the moral of the story. They've missed 3 years in a row plenty of times. 10 through 12, 2000 through 2002. It has happened before, but 4 years in a row would be something. I think they said it on the post game show Monday night. Like, if say the Red Sox, lose 4 of the last 5 games, they finished with a record under 500. It would be the first time they've finished 3 years in a row under 500 since I think the 30s or the 40s. It's something ridiculous. So yeah, we gotta turn this around. This is not who we are. Right. Remember who you are. It's like that meme with the chicken staring at the moon, and there's like a translucent dinosaur in the sky. Remember who you are. Remember who the Boston Red Sox are, John Henry.
I don't know that one.
I'll send it to you. I'll tweet it from the pod right now.
And by the way, it's I think it's 3-1. Was that foul? Schneider? Yeah, that had to have been foul. Yeah, that's not going to him around the bases. I thought it was 3-0. I thought Sims gave up a homer. It's not to sound completely conceited and spoiled and whatnot, although we who cares if we act a little bit fucking spoiled here? Big time Boston tough sports guy talk here.
Listen, if we
demand more.
100%, like the way this millennium has gone for us so far, we would be foolish to not have some I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Carry ourselves differently. Yeah, these are not my grandfather's Red Sox anymore.
To quote Mikel Arteta, I do not accept these fucking standards, guys.
Yeah,
these fucking standards.
And we shouldn't. And I think obviously there was a lot of talk last winter, like, oh, we're gonna boycott Fenway. No, you didn't. You didn't. Everybody still showed up. How'd that work? But and I don't really know how you get anything to change. Do I have hopes that they spend money this winter? Yes, I have hopes. Do I think they will? The jury's very much out, and that is kind of sad. There was I saw a clip from our arch rivals, Section 10, earlier today.
Don't even say their name around.
Where they were like, the fact that we're having this conversation that yes, they should be in it, but we're not expecting them to be in it in terms of major free agents is like, what happened here? Did your balls drop off, John Henry? I know why you have your meetings in the daytime, FSG.
Yeah, there needs to be a higher standard, and I don't think that's unfair to ask for that.
I don't think it is either because look at all
Yeah,
look at all the former players too. Like Cora's been on World Series winning teams here.
those were like
Papelbon on the
tech.
pregame and the
Yeah.
postgame, like Middlebrooks, like all these former players that have won here. I think they're all in the same boat as us. They're kind of like
what is going on?
It makes no sense.
Tucker Carlson.
But who knows?
What is going on?
What what is going on with the Boston Red Sox?
Boston Red Sox used to consistently make the playoffs. Now they're consistently in the basement of the American League East. What is going on? And they think you like this.
The green M&M has shoes now.
Green M&M has shoes. And the Boston Red Sox are losing more games.
We can iron out
What's
this bit. This is gonna be a great bit for the winter. I can already tell.
Red Sox fan Tucker Carlson.
Yes. Jake's gonna love that one. He's gonna be sad he missed that.
Oh yeah, Jake will be cooking.
We'll save it for him all winter.
Fenway Park used to be full of winners and champions. Now it's full of woke leftists. No. The radical Red Sox. This isn't a joke.
Fitz, you've kind of got a good impression there. You've got the cadence nailed.
Tucker,
I think the cadence nailed.
Impressions from what I do for I don't know if I can nail the voices all the time. The meter and the cadence and whatnot, I think I have a pretty good ear for that. I will say myself.
You definitely do. You definitely do.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for agreeing with me.
I'm terrible at impressions.
But who cares? They're still fun to fucking do. But no, and again, I don't think this is an unrealistic expectation bar to set here. Especially, I mean, we're talking about if they miss in 25, that's 4 straight years of the expanded playoffs in an expanded playoff era that they would have missed. So that's more problematic, right? If 3 teams are making the playoffs as wild cards in the junior and senior circuits
with like 85 wins on average,
right? This is not
we got to
crazy
be better.
This is not crazy to demand. This is not a crazy ask to say, look, even if they got their teeth kicked in by the Astros next year, the quick 2-game sweep, in and out, wham bam, thank you ma'am.
Whatever.
Even if it was just that, like, it's okay. Well, at least there's progress here. There's tangible progress.
We got a taste. We get a taste, like the young guys get a taste with.
Yeah, this is what it takes to make the playoffs. This is what it takes to be one of the last couple of teams standing. This is what it's like to chase for a pennant. Then to build off of that and really hit the ground running into 26, I don't think that's an unfair ask. I really don't. If someone wants to criticize me for saying like, oh, you're setting it too low, fine, totally get that. We should be again setting lofty standards of consistently being one of the most competitive teams in the league. You miss a couple of years here and there, that's baseball. That's just how it goes. Not every team is going to be sustainable year in and year out, unless your name is the St. Louis Cardinals for like 20 years. But even then, they're a fucking mess right now. So, you know what I mean. I think a realistic target to hit is making it to October. And I don't think that's a crazy ask. And if they don't hit it next year, again, we don't know what the rotation is going to look like. There are some variables that might change. But if they don't hit it next year, that's a problem. Even with the youth coming up, even with, Anthony, okay, he would get his first full year in 26. Same with Meyer, probably. Same with Teal, probably, right? Casa's another year experienced. He's then he's a seasoned vet at that point going into 26. If Wayer's still around,
it breaks my heart that this was a lost season for Tristan. Because I do truly believe the jury's still out for me whether this is Vlad Jr. being back for real this season. But if it turns out this season's a fluke, there's no doubt in my mind Casas is the best first baseman in the American League next year if he plays a full season. No doubt in my mind. So just a quick tangent.
Yeah, but if that is the case and they still miss the play, that's a problem. So again, who knows what the next couple of months hold in terms of transactions and whatnot. But from the offset, from the jump, that should be the front office's, again, tangible goal. Of course, you want to say, they're going to say in spring training, we think we're going to win the World Series. That's our goal. We're not going to stop until we hit our goal. Truth serum, give that to the front office. The goal should be the playoffs. And I don't think that's a crazy ask, considering that you're close this time. You made steps towards it this time, even though you still fell short of that, which again, that makes this year not successful as a whole, even if there are some bright spots in it, some good things to take away. It's not a successful season. You have to at least hit that bar. I feel like I'm going to keep talking in circles.
I know you're right. I will say the last thing on this to show you how far we've fallen, and your last comment just reminded me. In Francona's book, he mentions an exchange he had with Tom Werner on the final day of the season in 2006.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah,
And that team finished with 86 wins still. And I think Tom Werner and Francona, they were either on the field pre or post game, regardless, does not matter. Tom Werner said to Francona something along the lines of, "What a shit season." And Francona's sitting there like, "We won 86 games. Like, what? Well, it really wasn't that bad." Where did that mindset go? That's just my final thought, my final word.
The front office would be fucking flipping for joy. They'd be selling 86 win hats on Jersey Street if they had that right now. If they hit 86 wins, they'd fucking release a the white banners on Van Ness.
Oh, they're good.
Right?
Yes.
For the divisional.
Yeah, so when we win the division or like the wild card, yeah.
They do one of those. Finished a couple of games over 500, 2024.
I might have to make that for the 79 wins. That might be my new. That might be the new banner bit. We'll
people are expecting the big monster one. You know what I mean?
That's right,
like if it's a small, save the big monster one for the big moments. But the little ones, like people tell you to raise it for, hey, Greg Weissert returns from the IL. That's the white one.
That's right.
That's the one that those two dudes from the North Shore stole.
That they stole
in 2018. Yeah, that's that one, right? Sit there sitting in the truck and shit. So, I think they were North Shore. Apologies to the North Shore.
I think they were too. I think they were too.
That's very Lynn coded. Very very Chelsea.
The city of sin, man.
Stuff.
The city of sin.
You never come out the way you came in. So, all right.
But I do think. Oh no, I was just gonna say like one more thing on ownership. Sadly, I just keep racking my brain. Like, what happened to Tom Werner and John Henry? I don't know if it's as simple as, and I was talking to people about this over the weekend at Fenway. If it's as simple as when Larry stepped down as president of the Red Sox at the end of 2015, obviously, like the base of talent was already there. Mookie was here, Bogarts was here. Like those following seasons where that team was going to be competitive regardless. Mm-hmm. But since that core has devolved, you're kind of left with where's the competitive edge from ownership? Because obviously Larry had that. And I think we're finding out that John Henry, Tom Werner, Sam Kennedy might not, this sounds very sports talk radio. They might not have that same fire in their belly, so to speak.
They don't have it, Mike. Awful. They don't have it.
But so that's just to say, I miss Larry, and for better or worse, he did give a shit about winning. So
it'd be nice
that's all I'll say. I'll save my ownership spiel for hopefully 2 months from now, or hopefully not at all. Hopefully I don't have to say anything, and they just go out and make a big move right off the bat.
And one more thing before we actually do head to break this time. I forgot what it was. Holy shit, I'm fucking exhausted. I just had a tin. I just was going to say something. Was
it about Larry? The banners?
I remember it. I remember it now. One more thing. You talk about, I don't know if they care enough, Kennedy or Henry or Werner. Very much looking forward to the annual we actually do give a shit letter that the ownership group or Kennedy puts out, a statement. You know what I mean?
Kennedy, you're a liar, actually.
the once a winter please don't put in the newspaper that I don't
defensive
care.
stance.
Yeah, right. I really care about the Red Sox shirt is prompting a lot of questions already answered by the shirt statement, right?
Yes, you're not wrong.
All right,
I can't wait. I hope they have winter weekend this year. It'd be hilarious if they
we
didn't.
should try to go.
We should go this year.
We should try.
Make them face the music.
Yeah. We ask the tough questions here at POL. So, all right, let's take a quick break. Final segment of the show coming up. When we return, I want to talk some Johns. Do you want to talk some Johns, Liam?
I'm ready to talk some Johns.
Let's talk some Johns. Back after this. We have returned. Final segment of the program. This edition of Pod on Lansdowne. We always appreciate you hanging around towards this part of the episode. Again, no Jake, but Fitz and Liam here, talking some shop. If you want to hear us or read us, I guess also hear, maybe if we recorded a video once, but definitely read us talking shop. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at Pod on Lansdowne. I am at Fitzy Mopena. Liam is at Liam Fantasy _ Jake is at Jake Wallinger. Big news. We really buried the lead here. An hour and 1 minute into the episode, Liam.
It might be the biggest news of the year, actually.
This is massive, right? You know, if we don't take much out of 2024, we do take this piece of news out of it. A new City Connect jersey is within the pipeline at Nike for the Boston Red Sox. It is in the works. You can expect it at some point next year, according to Chris Cotillo of Mass Live. And the bigger news with that, the yellows aren't going anywhere. The yellows stay.
We're still here, as the yellow
navy
uniforms
blue
would say.
Red Sox jerseys are getting the boot. We bid them adieu to the blue. How about that? Bid adieu to the blue. The navy blues are being swapped out because Nike has that fucking stupid 4+1 rule where you only get 4 actual jerseys to work with plus your City Connect.
It's genuinely like they don't want to make money. I don't understand it.
Let us have like 10 uniforms to choose from, man.
We play 162 games, for Christ's sake.
Why not? You know, I mean, I don't like when the white is completely outnumbered by the red. Do not take that out of context. Do not take that out of context.
Pause.
Ow! The white jerseys. I am not.
Someone's ears just perked up listening.
No, yeah, right. I know I like these guys. No, do not, under any circumstances. I am not reciting the 14 words. Don't you dare. The white jerseys, I don't like when they only wear that intermittently. How about that? That's a better way to phrase that. But
you like the home whites. You like the home whites.
Yeah, love the home whites. Always been a big fan of the home whites. That's what I meant to say. But I don't like when... just let us have, every once in a while, let us wear the 75 jerseys on a whim. Why the fuck not? You already make an exception for us.
Next year of all years, they should absolutely be wearing the 75s. I'll come out and say that. It's 50 years.
Yeah, similar to what the Bruins did with the Centennial. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just a one-off thing for the year. They already make the exception for us for Marathon Monday. The all-white Boston jersey. And that's a great exception to make. Don't change that. Who fucking cares? Let us wear... You have probably thousands of the navy blues in your fucking warehouse in Oregon somewhere, Nike. You know what I mean? Or Fanatics if it's on Fanatics. David Rubin's probably got 5,000 of them shits laying around. Just let us mix it in every now and again while letting us keep the yellows, while having us... Give us a new City Connect. Who gives a shit? You make a new jersey every year for the NBA, right? You mix and match those all the time. Who cares? Let us use the grays and the blues and the reds and the whites and the yellows and maybe the greens if that's what the City Connect is for this upcoming year. Put a pin in that. That's what I want to talk about in a second. But before we get into that, it's dumb. Let us wear as many jerseys as we want, I say.
It's dumb, and I'm sure I'll catch flack for this because I also didn't realize how many shooters it had. I'm fine with the Blues getting tossed out for a year if that's all it is. Like
I will say this about the Blues. A lot of people on the timeline today, and this is all anecdotal, to be fair, both sides of what I'm saying. A lot of people torn up about the Navy Blues getting
Like
getting
seriously.
Yeah, and listen, I like them. I would have rather them
They're
be.
fine.
I would have rather them be like the '90s batting practice, like the V-neck,
the V-neck, baby,
right? Like
yeah.
my Wade Boggs jersey that I had there. I'd rather it be like that. But the navy blue ones are fine. I know Jake doesn't like them at all.
We've done that song and dance plenty of times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think he even tweeted about it at Jake Wallinger. Give him the follow there. But they're fine. They're all right. I like them. A lot of people were torn up about it today, but listen, I saw plenty of people over the years being like, "Oh, these jerseys are ass. There's nothing," including Jake. But even outside of Jake, I've seen people be like, "Ah, these are definitely our worst jerseys." So which is it? Like, so that's the if that's the one that gets the boot. I think out of the four main ones, that's the one that gets the short end of the stick. You're not getting rid of the whites. Some people are like, I actually don't really like the grays. I like the grays. I like that. That's a good clean baseball.
They're not getting rid of the white or the gray. Let's be real. Like,
the Rays got rid of their grays, right? Or who was it who got rid of their grays?
oh, did somebody do that?
Because I think the Rays they kept their regular whites, they kept their throwback whites, they had the navy blues, and they had the light blues.
Oh, it was the Mariners. The Mariners.
Or the Mariners did the Mariners. Okay, so that's who I was thinking of. So
well, that makes sense because they got the dark blue road. That's fine. That's fine.
But even then, I like the grays. I think that's a clean, classic baseball sort of.
I do too. I love the red lettering. You can never take that from me.
So and then you're not going to change the reds. And if it comes down to the City Connects or the Navy Blues, give me the City Connects. Those are, at this point, that's an instant classic. I'm not afraid to say that. I think they've become endearing. You see enough people wearing it all the time at Fenway. People really like the City Connects. I don't think you can get rid of that. It's a great idea, making it marathon themed. I think that's excellent. In time, that's like when we're in our 40s, when they when they phase out the City Connects, but they announce that like, hey, we're bringing the City Connects back for like 4 days. We're gonna go, the fucking City Connects are back, yeah! The Yellow Sox are alive. It's gonna be awesome, right? Like that's like my dad's like, oh shit, they're wearing the 75 Sox jersey. So when they did that like 8 years ago, my dad was like, fuck yeah, like let's go.
It's also crazy to me they haven't worn them since. But
no, yeah, those are best jerseys we've ever had, by the way.
100%.
Easily, those V-necks,
the red helmets. Oh my god,
magnifique. But my dad's like, oh fuck yeah, Freddie Lynn patrolling center field again. Feel like a kid again.
I'm gonna think a yellow jersey, Bobby Dahlbeck.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Hunter Renfroe raking, dude.
Renfroe,
yeah,
Kike,
Kevin Plawecki,
Danny Santana, Christian Arroyo.
Dude, they're wearing the Franchi Cordero jerseys today. That's sick. But in any event, as we move into the phase 2 of the City Connect era here, I wanted to do a fun little exercise here. Brainstorming some ideas for the concept. Let's talk about it. I think I will say one is off limits because everyone and their mother has fucking suggested the Green Monster style jerseys.
Well, yeah, that's the first one that comes.
It's
to
a
mind.
slam dunk, right? Like that, and that would be
just
awesome.
were the ones they wore on Red Auerbach night. Like
I'm sure they're the green with the white lettering, the St. Patty's jerseys. Excellent choice. I think we can even go a little bit deeper here. Let's talk this out. What should the concept be? I mean, an easy one for us is a Lansdowne themed jersey. That'd be fucking excellent. Cask and flagon style.
Trying to think. I mean, knowing how awful I feel like the City Connects have been since the first, like I feel like they've gotten worse each year. They'll probably give us something that with like the fucking Cheers font on the front, and I'll want to kill myself.
No, thank you.
I don't know. I mean, like the Green Monster's an easy one. I don't know. You could make it. Imagine if they made it like. You could sort of go Irish / Celtic with it.
Like Gaelic lettering,
Yeah, like that if you want to. Or you. I mean, I guess you feel like it is in terms of outside the city. Like you could go with like an Italian theme too if you really wanted to, but I feel like Ireland and Boston, that's more synonymous with the city.
That's gonna go fucking crazy at Darcy's in Quincy. Are you kidding me? The Gaelic Red Sox jersey.
That would
Your
be
Air
fire.
Force
Would be
Ones,
fire.
Quincy would not know what to do with itself. The white polo dad hats, right? That's gonna be.
I mean, I here's the thing. You know what they'll probably do though? You got rid of the blue ones. Watch them roll out something with like the Patriots color scheme, or just like another red, white, and blue, like Cradle of America, Revolution type.
Hi, Derek. By the way, shout out on the tweet. But what you say, yeah, Cradle of America.
Yeah, Cradle of the Revolution.
Oh, with the 250th birthday of America coming up. Oh, are they gonna do that shit? They're gonna do like, oh, this is where America started, and it will be there for 26, right? Oh, that's what's gonna happen, isn't it? And they're gonna use, because it's fucking Nike.
They're just gonna use red, white, and blue.
Well, but they're gonna use like the worst font you've ever seen in your entire life. Like the fucking numbers on the back, like Devers' number is gonna look like wingdings on the back. Just the monstrosities that Nike has been pumping out the last couple of months. Ugh.
Fuck. What else could you do though?
Tam inspired. Jerseys that look like government center, like that brutalist architecture look.
Just another set of gray uniforms. What if you went with like what if you made it like tea themed?
So I was actually just about to bring that up. I forget the guy's name on Twitter. I apologize.
He does like really good mock-ups
for the Celtics.
Yeah,
he does. Every time the Celtics win, he does a custom Celtics jersey, and he did one for the T, and it was awesome. It was great, and I think he sold them on his website. I forget the guy's name. My apologies.
I know exactly who you're talking
about.
I feel like if you're listening to this show,
yeah, you probably know what I'm referring to. What if you did again a T map?
I mean, obviously this one. Just go Duncan. Just give me the Duncan colors. I'll be a happy camper.
Of course.
The bullpen jackets are just the Dunkings jacket.
Right? If only we knew someone at Duncan Corporate who might be able to hook that up. I can't imagine who
the
it
hats.
would be.
The hats are just the Duncan bucket hat.
If they let the White Sox back in the day play in shorts, I can't see why they wouldn't let us play in bucket hats.
Let us play in bucket hats. Why not?
Yeah, grow the game.
You can flip them up. You can flip them down. They're very versatile. More versatile than a ball cap. Some would say.
They make it reversible. You know what I mean? Like different colors.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe one day it's the orange. One day it's the kind of like the magenta, the pink, whatever color you want to call that. But for the T1, like here's an idea that I just thought of. This one. Ready? Completely swaggerjack the Astros rainbow jerseys, and you don't have to make the lines as thick on like the belly, but like red line, green line, orange line, blue line, commuter rails, silver line, like that's your rainbow. And in like that kind of MBTA font, it just says Red Sox or T, and then like the black circle outside of the T, like right there for the number or something like that, or like maybe a little bit lower. This is an audio experience.
I can see it. I can visualize it.
You see when I kind of
there's an image in my mind.
It might be something, right? Maybe the hat is just the T logo, but it's a B instead of a T. There might be something there. It would probably have to be a green base, like if you like obviously I mentioned rainbow.
I mean you could do just like I don't know, like
if there's one color that you predominantly feature on it would have to be the green line because the station right there. Ken Moore. So State House themed, all gold helmets like Notre Dame for the State House.
Oh, I kind of like that. The
right?
gold batting helmets, that would kind of go hard.
We got to pay tribute to Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame gets like 20% of the profits of all merchandise, right? But that would cook. They do like some gross Freedom Trail styled ones, so just like yeah,
it would be like the Tigers jerseys with like the tire mark down the middle. It would just be like the Freedom Trail.
So gross. I still think maybe the worst one is that Phillies one because what the fuck does that? I understand.
I really think it's the Tigers.
The Tigers is
awful. It's the Tigers. So it just says Detroit on the hat. Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah. Those are not good.
I don't know. Maybe you could do something like college themed too. It's the biggest college town in America.
I swear to, if they do maroon and gold, if they do something maroon and gold,
Something,
I might have to renounce my fandom.
I don't know. There is a way to like. I think you could figure out a way to. I don't know. Just make it like higher ed themed. Their ball caps will just be replaced with your graduation caps. Everybody wears a gown.
You know those T-shirts that it's like it's minuscule font, but it's the entire script of the B movie.
Yeah,
you just do.
But it's the town.
You could do. I mean, there's thousands of. You could do the town, The Departed, The Social Network. You know, you just the entire Social Network script on there. Goodwill Hunting. You know what I mean? Like you could just do the entire script. This Goodwill Hunting inspired jersey features the entire script of Oscar award-winning motion picture Goodwill Hunting. The screenplay by Damon and Affleck, the Oscar-winning screenplay, is featured on this jersey, and nothing else. No numbers, no names, no nothing. It just looks like reverse pinstripes. That's all it is.
We're like, what does that say on there? You got to get up close.
How about them? Oh, I can see how about them apples? It's right there on his left ass cheek. Yeah, there you can see that. Yeah. I mean, we came up with like 20 golden ideas.
So many ways you could go with it.
So, of course, Nike's going to fuck it up. We're lucky enough to have gotten one of the good ones one time. Do you think they're going to strike gold for us twice?
I don't think they.
The odds are saying not likely.
Unless they just play it safe and go like Green Monster.
That's so easy. I would love that. I don't mean to disparage the Green Monster idea. I don't. But it's so easy. It is so easy to do something based around that.
Yeah, I mean something Irish themed. Oh, you could also do something. I don't know. Like there might
that's
be. That's
anti-Italian discrimination, though. So
that's true. That's true. I don't think they'd like that. The Celtics got away with it just because of their name. But
they have the Italian jerseys. They traveled to Italy for that preseason game before the 07-08 season, so they have the Italian jerseys.
They got the Italian Celtics jersey. I don't know. Maybe you could do something. I don't know, like.
Hey, shit! Didn't the Red Sox have an Italian night here this year, and they gave out Italian
100%.
jerseys?
They've had a cultural night like every night of the season.
Where are the Irish jerseys? Where are the jerseys for us mix? Come on!
They gave them away on Saturday. It was the postponed game, of course.
Okay.
And then
the game that's postponed is they don't know what it's like to be hated, to be Irish.
That's right. Yeah, they did. It was Ireland on Saturday, Brazil on Sunday, and then they also did.
They've done Greek before too.
Friday was like the Hispanic Heritage Night.
Jewish Heritage.
They give that all. Yeah, they give all the cultural jerseys out, which is nice. Shit, I don't know. Let's bring the condom sock back. This is how we bring her back.
Listen, I have that hat. It's packed way over there. I do have the condom sock hat. I'll be there no matter what.
We need to get him in there. I don't know how I didn't think of this earlier. We need to get him in there somehow.
That would be
I don't
2
know
straight
if you go
years.
like
Tristan Casas in the condom socks hat. Unstoppable. Are you kidding me?
Unstoppable. I don't know how you could. Do you put him on the hat or do you just put him on one of the sleeves? I'll take either, honestly. I'm starving. For the condom sock.
Yeah, any use of the condom sock, I co-sign.
You could honestly, all right, you could go kind of like the Braves. Essentially, their City Connect is just a reverse retro. Like they took the old Hank Aaron's Braves V-neck. And I would have rather they just fucking kept the throwbacks. But
sure.
If they wanted to do something that was more like reverse retro inspired, then maybe that's how you rope 75 in. Make it. I would.
How would you make that? I would
like it to be a V-neck, but also I don't think the Brave City Connect is a V-neck either. They just took like the color scheme and
no, it's like kind
of inspired by which I hate. That's lazy.
But then would you to make that?
You know what Nike will do?
What's that?
You know what they'll do? It'll be fucking like Beantown themed. It's be brown jerseys.
This motherfucker wearing beans.
Beantown across the chest, baby.
Oh, I'll buy one just to light it on fire. I don't care if I'm still giving. I don't care if I'm endorsing that. You know what I mean? First of all, beans are fucking atrocious. They're not good. I'm not a bean eater.
They should make it like the Great Molasses Flood commemorative jersey.
Respectfully, yeah, right. In a solemn and dignified way, honoring the molasses flood. Fucking lobster jersey. It just looks like
that would kind of you could just go like salmon, like Nantucket Red.
Oh, prep school Red Sox look. Wearing the Vineyard Vines belt. They have like the fucking scarf or the cardigan that they throw over their back, like you know what I mean, with
the cleats they wear will just be boat shoes. Sponsored by Sperry's.
Sperry cleats, yeah. Do you know who my dad is? Do you know who my father is? I have 26 of them, and they play at.
Who do you know here?
Fenway Park.
Who do you know here? Who do you know here?
Yeah,
that's how we rope the higher ed thing into it. We're just
the only way you're able to get into Fenway is with a positive ratio.
No need to buy tickets anymore. Just bring 4 or 5 girls.
Girls can come in. Girls are pros.
Yeah,
pros you gotta know a pledge. Gotta know a brother.
Gotta throw 5. Okay, John Henry.
Come in, Wally.
John Henry's at the door.
Wally gives you an empty Solo cup as you come in, like in a marker to write your name on it.
Wally puts you on keg duty.
But he can't say it. He has to like gesture towards.
No, he's just gotta like point. He points you to it.
He's like smiling. He's like pointing like you like.
Yeah.
So all of these ideas are going to be better than whatever Nike does.
Then you got to drive Wally home after the game, and he's drunk. Just a nightmare.
He's messy drunk.
He smells. This suit reeks of beer.
He starts sharing too much information about the trouble he's having with Tessie, his girlfriend, by the way. His girlfriend.
That's right.
Which we've
Siblings
established.
Are dating.
Yeah.
That's canon. That's POL canon. The expanded universe.
Right. Got to set him up right to make sure it doesn't it could be bad. But you're a good friend for doing that. He'll buy you breakfast in the morning.
Take care of him.
Jesus Christ. Is that all we got? Well, you got to do your song of the emoji of the week, by the way, is a car for the car that you're driving Wally home in after City Connect night, and the one that he hopefully doesn't boot in.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Key, make it keys. You're taking Wally's keys. Keys, car.
Wally can't drive.
Something.
I don't know if Wally would be able to drive anyway because he's a mascot, but he definitely can't drive if he's been having some jungle.
He's got that truck. I see it out in the parking lot on Van Ness all the time.
And the truck for truck day too. Maybe Wally tries to drive that, but certainly not after a couple of
we're taking his
adult
keys.
beverages.
Good to drive. I am.
Spilling Voodoo Ranger all over himself. You know something? Yeah, I fucking like you little green guy. So. What's song of the week, King?
Song of the week for me. I've been thinking about this all day. Gladys Knight and the Pips. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. That's how I feel about the Red Sox this month.
I love Gladys Knight.
They're teasing us. It's just either do it or don't. Somebody's got to make up their mind. It's not going to be me. I'm committed. But the Red Sox, on the other hand, the jury's still out.
Well, it's the top of the 7th with 2 outs, runner on first. Williers up 3-0 Toronto. So they might be making up their minds as we speak.
They could. Let me check on the Royals. 0-0 in our nation's capital.
That Stevie G tweet Monday night was excellent, by the way.
I knew you'd like that. Here we go. So stupid.
Stevie G.
Watch us wake up tomorrow 2.5 back.
Could you imagine? If you're listening to this and watching this doom and gloom,
2 men on. 2 men on. John Snyder's going to the bullpen.
Danny Jansen Revenge Tour starts now.
He doesn't want to face him. He's scared.
So just under 2.5 hours. That's pretty good, King. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Unless there's anything else that you want to talk about to take us over the 1.5 hour mark.
Did I have anything else?
I guess the listener's going to know
before the regular season ends. Just to show. Well, before the regular season ends. Just a shout out to our foundation of a pitching rotation and Houck, Cutter, and Bayo. Bayo, 30th start tonight. Cutter and Houck are already in the club. Career high innings for all of them. So my fuck with for the week has been the rotation of late.
Sure.
Because they're finishing strong. They're finishing strong. It looked rough in the summer, especially coming out of the All-Star break. But they've righted the ship. Houck looked amazing Monday night. So much for the dead arm. And Cutter, for all the home runs he's given up, like, he's started fucking 33 games. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of conversation about moving Cutter this winter, but if I got a guy that can give me 30 plus starts, why would I touch that right now? So shout out to the rotation. Shout out to the rotation. It's really the bullpen that sank us, guys, at the end of the day.
Yeah, they do deserve those kudos, especially, Bayo.
Bayo has really turned it around in the second half.
It wasn't an amazing start tonight, but he does deserve some credit after, we were kind of riding him a bit during his tough stretch. He's still young. The potential is still there. Even when he was having tough nights, he would still go out and give you an inning. I was like, oh, that's why they extended him. So that's something to build off moving forward.
The foundation is there.
And I was saying this to a buddy of mine. Those pieces are there. Houck over 30 starts, like you just mentioned. Same with Cutter and Bayo. That's good to be there. It's just I need them to raise the quality, the ceiling of that pitching staff, because outside of Houck, who demonstrated it this year, I don't know how many of those guys are like certified like absolute dudes. Like, again, Cutter has his nights, Bayo has his nights. But if you can get to a point, if you can get to a point where Bayo is your number 4 starter, even, that's like, okay, now we're talking here. Or Houck's a 2, or even, God, if Houck is a 3, then that's a dream. But even if he was the number 2, you're like, okay, like, this is something that we can work with here. With Giolito coming in to replace Pivetta, I would like to see the ceiling of that rotation raised, I think. But again, that's a conversation for another time. For now, nice way to end the year for the starting rotation. I do agree. And that's that for that.
That's that.
That's that. Thank you
Fitz,
very much.
One word. How are you feeling with 5 games left? Just give me an overall vibe check before we close out. One word.
It's not as serious as like foreboding. It's just like
it could even be like a noise. Just like I don't know. Is that your answer?
Like this last week, we're gonna look back a week from now and say this last week could have been an email. Let's just.
Especially if they just lose out. Could you imagine?
This could have been an email. Like, let's just. If you're gonna die, and that's what it looks like they're doing. And unless Danny Jansen extends this, well, it's not extending the game. It's the 7th, but you catch my drift. Just if you're gonna die, I don't want them to die, but if they're going to die, just do it. Just die. Make those tickets cheaper for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because they're not going to have anything to play for, and just die, and get to work in the off season. So, but no matter how it ends, we'll talk to you next week, one way or the other. Liam, lean back. Is that no? That's
long foul ball.
Loud strike. But seriously, really do appreciate everyone listening throughout the entire regular season. Our 3rd full regular season of doing this, believe it or not. And
if they go another year without the playoffs, man, LeBron, maybe it's me.
Yeah, no one's gonna listen to the show. Like, it's like we just know that it's all gonna be over by the end of September. Yeah. So, but in all sincerity, thank you to everybody who listens, follows the show, retweets whenever we put out a new episode, tells a friend, refers a friend, whatever it is. We really, really do appreciate it. It's why we like doing it, because we like shooting the shit with you guys. During the offseason and during the offseason. We're not going anywhere just because it's the offseason. Get through. Hey, bases juiced.
First Grand Slam of the season?
No time like the present. No time like the present for that. So, but again, thank you folks for listening as always, including listening today to this edition of Pod on Lansdowne. For Jake, for Liam, I'm Fitz, you're you. We will talk to you next week. Go Sox. Please stay alive, even though I don't think they will. And obey your mother.
Go Sox. As Fitz said, we love our beautiful listeners. Thank you to all our beautiful listeners out there. They're the best listeners in the world.
Beautiful. No one's had better
they're the best
listeners than us, believe me.
That's right.
We almost made the entire episode without referencing DJT.
There's always one. There's always one. But we love our beautiful listeners. Go Sox and obey your mother.